Lynda Carter is a name that still shines brightly in Hollywood history, even decades after she first stepped into the spotlight as the iconic Wonder Woman. While most viewers remember her as a strong, confident, and graceful superhero who inspired millions around the world, there's another side of Lynda that fewer people know. Behind the glamorous photo shoots, red carpet events, magazine covers, and talk show appearances, there existed a woman who lived a much deeper, more private, and often more emotional life. Many fans have seen her public image, but only a small number truly understand what shaped her, what challenges stood behind her success, and how her most personal photographs reveal the real story of a woman learning to navigate fame, pressure, heartbreak, family, and identity. These private moments capture Lynda not as Wonder Woman, but as a human being with dreams, doubts, joy, and pain. They show her laughing with family in quiet backyards, sitting alone with guitar during times when music became her escape, and smiling through difficult moments the world never saw. They remind us that behind every beloved star, there's a story filled with struggle and courage. These images show the softer side of her journey, the side that didn't make it into newspapers, yet shaped her more than any headline ever could. And when we look closely at these rare photographs, we begin to understand not just the star she became, but the young woman behind the camera flash, searching for balance between fame and personal peace. They show a Lynda Carter who was humble, shy at times, and full of creativity and warmth. And they also show a woman carrying pressures that came with sudden stardom in an industry that demanded perfection. Many of these private photos reveal the quiet in-between moments of her life, the times when she put away the costume, removed the makeup, and allowed herself to be simply Lynda. These moments tell a powerful story of someone who wanted to stay true to herself even when surrounded by a world that constantly expected her to be larger than life. Her untold story is not only about fame, but also about the emotional struggles she hid from the public eye, the strength she used to protect her personal life, and the ways she balanced being a global icon with being a mother, wife, daughter, and friend. When people see her private photos today, they don't just see a beautiful face. They see a life lived with intensity, vulnerability, and heart. These images help us understand how she became a symbol of empowerment, how she maintained her dignity through difficult times, and how she kept a sense of self in an often unforgiving industry. They show how a young woman grew into a legend, not because of a costume or a role, but because of her courage, compassion, and resilience. And so, as we explore these photographs and her untold story, we begin to appreciate Lynda Carter not only as Wonder Woman, but as a real woman whose life was far more complex, emotional, and inspiring than the world ever knew. Lynda Carter's fame grew rapidly after a breakout role in Wonder Woman during the 1970s. Her life changed in ways she never fully expected. Overnight, she became not just an actress, but a symbol for millions of women and girls around the world. Her face was everywhere, on posters, lunchboxes, magazines, and television screens in nearly every home. People admired her beauty, her strength, and the value she represented on screen. But off-screen, Lynda herself often felt overwhelmed by how quickly things had shifted. Many people do not realize that becoming a global icon can take away a person's sense of privacy. And for Lynda, this was especially true. The entertainment industry constantly demanded her time, her appearance, and her energy. She had to smile for cameras even when she felt tired, pose for photographs even when she wanted to rest, and attend public events even when she longed for quiet moments at home. The pressure to always look perfect was intense and exhausting. Some of her private photos from this period reveal a young woman trying to hold on to her sense of self. In these images, she is often surrounded by makeup artists, stylists, or production crew members, yet her eyes show a mixture of excitement and worry. She enjoyed her success, of course, but she also feared losing the small pieces of herself that made her feel normal. These photos show her laughing with friends between shoots, relaxing in her dressing room while reading a book, and sharing simple meals with people she trusted. They highlight how much she valued everyday moments in a world where everything felt larger than life. Despite the glamour, fame often created moments of loneliness. Many of her private pictures were taken by close friends or family members because those were the people she felt safe with. They captured her without the bright lights and heavy makeup, revealing a Lynda who was thoughtful, gentle, and often deep in reflection. She sometimes felt misunderstood, as people only saw the superhero and not the woman underneath. This struggle helped shape her as an artist and a person. It made her more protective of her personal life and motivated her to explore creative outlets that allowed her to express herself more freely, especially music. She spent hours writing songs, playing guitar, and finding comfort in melodies that help her escape the demands of show business. These musical moments, some caught in private photographs, show her in a completely different light. Barefoot, sitting on carpeted floors, eyes closed as she let her emotions come to the strings of her guitar. These pictures represent a part of her untold story that many fans never knew existed. At the same time, she faced pressures that no one could see from the outside. As one of the most famous women in Hollywood, she constantly dealt with judgment, criticism, and comparisons. Every outfit she wore was analyzed, every interview she gave was discussed, and every personal choice was questioned. It became difficult at times to separate her true identity from her public image. Her private photos show her moments of exhaustion, her leaning on a chair between takes, resting her head on her hand with a tired smile, or staring out a window while thinking quietly about her future. She rarely showed this vulnerability in public, but in these photographs, the emotion is clearly visible. Each image reflects a hidden side of her experience, showing that even stars who appear strong and confident still grapple with doubt, pressure, and emotional fatigue. And yet, these photos also reveal her strength. They show a woman who kept going, who refused to let fame overwhelm her, and who maintained her dignity even during the most difficult times. They remind us that behind every public figure is a human being with real feelings, real fears, and real dreams. Lynda Carter's private photos capture this truth beautifully, revealing a journey filled with courage, growth, and resilience that the world rarely had the chance to see. As the years passed and Lynda Carter continued her rise in Hollywood, the world saw her as confident, glamorous, and always in control. But the truth behind the scenes was more complex and emotional than what the cameras showed. Many of her most private photographs from this period capture a woman trying to balance her inner world with the demands of an industry that often cared more about appearances than real human feelings. These photos show her during quiet mornings before the makeup artist arrived, standing beside windows with natural light on her face, holding cups of coffee while wrapped in comfortable sweaters. These images reveal her softer side, peaceful, thoughtful, and sometimes vulnerable. They remind us that fame does not take away a person's need for comfort, warmth, and simple moments. In fact, for Lynda, these small pockets of calm became essential for her emotional well-being. They helped her stay grounded at a time when everything around her felt chaotic. During the height of her career, she faced enormous pressure to maintain a perfect public image. Hollywood in the late 1970s and early 1980s was a place where actresses were expected to look flawless every moment, even when they were exhausted or struggling privately. Some of her personal photos show her half asleep in dressing room chairs, her head tilted back while stylists touched up her hair or makeup. These pictures show how tiring the lifestyle could be, revealing a side of fame that fans usually never see. They also show her incredible patience and professionalism. Even when she felt worn out, she continued to smile, continued to deliver strong performances, and continued to meet the expectations placed upon her. This strength became an important part of her identity, not just as an actress, but as a person. But behind that strength was also a deep emotional world. Some of her private photos reveal moments when she was lost in thought, sitting alone in hotel rooms while traveling, flipping through scripts, or writing notes in journals. In these images, her eyes look reflective and sometimes heavy with emotion. These moments, captured by close friends, show her dealing with the loneliness that often comes with fame. Traveling constantly, meeting new people every day, and having little time for herself made it difficult for her to build the kind of peaceful personal life she wanted. Yet she never let these challenges break her spirit. Instead, they motivated her to focus even more on staying connected to her true self. She tried to create small, safe spaces wherever she went. Corners of rooms where she kept her favorite books, a portable speaker for her music, or even simple items like scarves and candles that made unfamiliar places feel comforting. Another layer of her untold story is her determination to protect her family from the pressures of Hollywood. Some of her private photographs include moments with her parents, siblings, and later her children. These images are simple but powerful. her hugging her mother in a kitchen filled with warm light, her laughing with her family during casual gatherings, or sitting barefoot on the floor with her children while drawing or reading stories. These were the moments that mattered most to her. They gave her a sense of grounding and helped her remember who she was beyond the bright spotlight. These personal photos reflect her strong values, loyalty, love, and the importance of family. While the world saw her as Wonder Woman, her family saw her as a caring daughter, a devoted sister, and a loving mother. And that is a side of her that she protected fiercely. Her private images also reveal her emotional courage. At a time when Hollywood often tried to control how actresses behaved, Lynda stayed true to her own personality. She believed in kindness, authenticity, and staying humble, even when the world treated her like a superstar. Many of her candid photos show her smiling warmly at people behind the scenes, crew members, assistants, fans, and children who visited the set. She made everyone feel valued, which is one of the reasons she remained beloved long after her show ended. These rare and intimate photos help us understand that Lynda Carter's journey was not just about fame, beauty, or a famous role. It was about maintaining her humanity, protecting her heart, and building a life that felt real behind all the glamour. They show her inner battles, her quiet victories, and the strength she carried every day as Lynda Carter moved further into her career. The world began to see her not just as a television star, but as a cultural icon whose influence reached far beyond the screen. Yet even as her public identity grew stronger, her private world became more delicate and more meaningful to her. Many of her lesser-known photographs from this period show a woman who is trying to reclaim a sense of normal life while still living under the constant glare of fame. These images capture her in moments that feel almost sacred. Her sitting on quiet beaches, taking long walks in nature, or enjoying peaceful sunsets where she finally allowed herself to breathe without the weight of expectation. These gentle moments of stillness reveal a side of Lynda that fans rarely got to see. They show her reconnecting with the simplicity of life, relying on nature as a way to heal her emotions and escape the pressures of Hollywood. She often said later that these moments outdoors helped her feel like herself again, and these private photos make that truth visible. During those years, Lynda Carter also faced personal challenges that shaped her emotionally. Fame, success, and admiration did not protect her from hardships or heartache. Some of her private photos reflect this period of struggle, her face appearing more serious, her expressions more thoughtful, and her posture showing signs of someone dealing with complex feelings. The photographs taken during her toughest years reveal her incredible resilience. Even when she faced obstacles in her personal life, including difficult relationships and overwhelming demands from her career, she carried herself with grace. These images show her deep emotional strength, the kind that does not come from playing a superhero, but from being a human being willing to confront her own pain. One image shows her sitting alone on a couch, her eyes focused on the floor as light falls gently across her face. It is a photo filled with vulnerability, capturing a rare moment when she allowed herself to feel everything she had been holding inside. Photos like these tell a story that many of her fans never knew, a story of courage not in front of cameras, but in quiet rooms where no one was watching. Yet even in these difficult times, Lynda found ways to stay connected to joy, creativity, and passion. Her private photographs reveal another side of her life, the artist within her who never stopped growing. She spent hours painting, writing songs, and experimenting with new artistic hobbies that gave her emotional freedom. Many photos show her smiling while splattered with paint, or sitting on floors with sketchbooks spread out around her. These creative moments help her express parts of herself that the Hollywood spotlight never touched. Her art was personal. It came from her heart, not from scripts or producers. These images show how she used creativity as a lifeline, allowing her to stay grounded and feel alive even during stressful times. Her return to music during this period was especially meaningful. Private photos of her singing in small studios, wearing headphones while recording songs, or playing guitar with friends around dimly lit rooms reveal a passion that was always inside her, waiting to be fully expressed. Music gave her a voice beyond acting, a voice that allowed her to share her soul. These photographs reveal the raw emotion she poured into every note. Her eyes often closed, her face soft, her posture relaxed. These details show the peace she found in music. This passion became an important part of her healing and her self-discovery. While the world still saw her as Wonder Woman, She was quietly building a deeper connection with her true identity as an artist and a woman. Another touching part of Lynda's Untold story is the kindness she showed to people around her. Behind the scenes, she treated everyone with respect, no matter their role or status. Some of her most heartwarming private photos show her sharing meals with crew members, sitting on the floor with children who visited the set, or wrapping her arm around fans with genuine warmth in her smile. These photos reflect her natural compassion and her ability to make others feel valued. She understood that being a star did not make her greater than anyone else, and this humility became one of the reasons she remained loved for generations. Through all these personal photos, one theme becomes clear. Lynda Carter's journey was not just about fame. It was about growth, survival, creativity, kindness, and the deep emotional strength she carried inside. Her untold story reminds us that even the most admired icons live real, complicated lives filled with joy, pain, and everything between. Lynda Carter and her more mature phase of her life and career. Her private photos began to reflect a woman who had finally learned to embrace both her strengths and her vulnerabilities. These later years gave her a new sense of clarity and purpose, and many of her candid images show her in moments of peace, confidence, and quiet wisdom. She no longer felt the same pressure to prove herself to the world or to live up to the superhero image that had followed her for so long. Instead, she focused on building a life that felt meaningful, comfortable, and real. Some of her most cherished private photos from this time show her enjoying simple moments, sitting in cozy living rooms with soft lighting, cooking meals in her kitchen, tending to her garden, or reading books by a sunny window. These pictures capture a sense of calm that she worked hard to create. They show a woman who finally allowed herself to slow down, breathe deeply, and live life on her own terms. Her connection with her family also grew even stronger during these years. Private photos show her laughing with her children during holiday gatherings, taking casual walks with loved ones, or spending time at home where she felt the safest. These candid images make it clear that her family life brought her the happiness she had long desired. She understood the importance of creating memories with the people closest to her, and these photos preserve those moments beautifully. They show a Lynda who is relaxed, smiling genuinely, and embracing the joy that comes from being surrounded by love. For her, these photos were more valuable than any magazine cover or red carpet snapshot. They represented the real foundation of her life, the relationships that gave her strength, comfort, and purpose. Another remarkable part of her journey was her growth as a public figure who used her platform to support causes she cared deeply about. Some of her private photos show her preparing for charity events, speaking at foundations, meeting with survivors of hardships, and offering emotional support to people who looked up to her not just for her beauty, but for her compassion. In these photos, her face carries a deep sense of empathy and seriousness, showing how committed she was to giving back. She understood that her voice mattered and that her fame could be used for something meaningful. These quieter, behind-the-scenes photos capture her genuine dedication to helping others, reminding us that she was more than an actress. She was a humanitarian with a deep desire to make the world better. Her personal style also evolved during this period, reflecting her maturity and self-awareness. While earlier photos showed her in glamorous costumes, bold outfits, and carefully styled hair, her later private photos show a more natural look. She appears in comfortable clothing, light makeup, and hairstyles that reflect her relaxed state of mind. These images highlight her belief that beauty comes from authenticity, not from perfection. She no longer felt the need to fit into Hollywood's narrow standards. Instead, she embraced her natural appearance with pride. Many fans who see these photos feel an even deeper connection with her, because they show a woman who embraced her age, her experiences, and her true self with grace. The emotional strength she developed over the years is also clearly visible in these later photos. Her expressions show a sense of peace, stability, and acceptance. She had experienced both extraordinary highs and difficult lows, yet she emerged wiser and more grounded. These photos tell a story of resilience, a woman who walked through challenges, heartbreak, criticism, and personal battles, yet remained full of warmth and hope. This resilience is part of what makes her story so inspiring. In these private moments, Lynda Carter reveals the true meaning of inner strength, not the kind shown through a superhero costume or dramatic roles, but the quiet strength found in a woman who learned to love herself, protect her peace, and appreciate the life she built. Her untold story is not one of perfection, but of growth, courage, and the beauty of living truthfully as we look back at all of Lynda Carter's private photos and reflect on the many layers of her untold story. One thing becomes very clear. Her life was far richer, deeper, and more emotional than the public ever realized. These rare and intimate images give us a window into a journey shaped not only by fame, success, and admiration, but also by vulnerability, quiet courage, and a lifelong search for personal peace. Each photograph, whether taken in her earliest days in Hollywood or in her later years surrounded by family, tells a unique part of her story. They show the evolution of a woman who learned to balance the weight of being a global symbol with the reality of her own inner world. Some of her photos show moments of youthful excitement and wide-eyed wonder. Others show deep reflection, and still others show the calm confidence that comes from years of experience. Through these images, we see not only Lynda Carter the actress, but Lynda Carter the woman, a woman who learned, grew, and found strength through both the light and the shadows of her life. These private images also remind us that the world often forgets that celebrities are human beings with real emotions, real struggles, and real dreams. The myth of perfection that surrounds fame can hide the truth of what a person goes through behind the scenes. Lynda's photographs pull back that curtain. They show her sitting quietly with a guitar, leaning against windows while deep in thought, laughing with loved ones during unguarded moments, and resting during times of exhaustion. They show her journey from the pressures of early stardom to the emotional maturity of her later years. They reveal how she handled heartbreak, pressure, and loneliness, yet always found a way to rise again. These photos show how she protected her heart, while giving so much of herself to the world. They show how she kept her inner strength alive even during times when life felt overwhelming. And most importantly, they show how she found healing in the simple things: music, art, family, nature, and moments of quiet reflection. But the most powerful part of her story is the message it leaves for others. Lynda Carter's life and her private photographs teach us that true strength comes from staying connected to who we are, even when the world tries to define us differently. Her journey shows that being a symbol to millions does not mean a person stops being human. In fact, her humanity is what made her so adored. She demonstrated that a person can be both strong and gentle, brave and vulnerable, successful and humble. She lived with purpose, kindness, and hope, even in moments when she felt uncertain or overwhelmed. These private photos preserve a legacy that goes far beyond Hollywood. They show a woman who lived authentically, loved deeply, and treated others with compassion. Lynda Carter's real story, the story behind the spotlight, is one of resilience and heart that in the end. These private photographs and untold memories help fans understand that her true power did not come from wearing a superhero costume or delivering iconic performances. Her real power came from the strength she carried inside her, the strength to keep going, to stay kind, and to live truthfully no matter where life took her. She built a life full of meaning, supported by family, creativity, and emotional courage. Her images tell a story of a woman who embraced every chapter of her life, both the beautiful and the difficult, and emerged with grace that inspired millions around the world. And that is why, even after so many years, Lynda Carter remains more than a Hollywood legend. She remains a symbol of hope, resilience, and the enduring beauty of a life lived with honesty and heart. Through her untold story and her most private photos, we see not just a star, but a woman who truly understood what it meant to shine from within. As people today rediscover Lynda Carter through social media, documentaries, and newly shared private photos, a new generation is beginning to understand why she became such a timeless figure. Her influence extends far beyond the years she spent on television, because her story represents something deeper, something human, emotional, and universal. Many of the private images circulating now show a woman who aged gracefully, both in appearance and in spirit. Her later photographs reveal a kind of inner glow that comes not from fame or beauty, but from wisdom gained through experience. These pictures show her attending events with a quiet confidence, standing at charity galas with purpose in her eyes, and speaking to audiences with the calm authority of someone who has lived fully. She no longer carries the pressure of being constantly perfect. Instead, she carries the strength of someone who truly knows herself. These images are powerful reminders that beauty changes with time, but inner grace only grows stronger. And many of her candid photos from recent years, Lynda can be seen enjoying life in simple and peaceful ways. She spends afternoons surrounded by close friends, laughing freely without worrying about camera angles or public expectations. She takes walks in nature with a look of serenity on her face, her posture relaxed and her smile gentle. These images reveal how deeply she has learned to appreciate the small joys of life. The sound of wind passing through trees, the warmth of sunlight on her skin, the comfort of home. People often forget that celebrities long for these peaceful moments just as much as anyone else, and Lynda's photographs bring this truth forward with striking clarity. She found happiness not in the spotlight, but in the quiet spaces she created for herself. Some of the most meaningful private photographs from her later life show her honoring her long journey, celebrating her past roles, reconnecting with old friends from the entertainment world, and sharing stories with younger artists who look up to her. She often speaks with warmth about her early days, but she also reflects honestly on the challenges she faced. These moments, captured by photographers she trusted, show her wearing expressions of gratitude and sincerity. They remind viewers that she is a woman who has accepted all parts of her story, the victories, the struggles, and the lessons that shaped her. These photos feel almost like conversations, as if she is quietly telling viewers that it is okay to be imperfect, okay to grow, and okay to change. Another powerful theme in her later photographs is her advocacy work. Lynda used her voice to support strong causes, from women's rights to addiction recovery resources to music education. She poured her heart into these efforts because she believed that making a positive difference was more important than achieving more fame. Many of her private photos show her comforting individuals during support events, hugging survivors, or standing at podiums speaking with calm conviction. These images reveal a woman who no longer cared about living up to a fictional hero. She chose instead to be a real one. Her compassion, maturity, and willingness to help others became the most beautiful parts of her legacy. As times changed and generations shifted, Lynda Carter's story continued to inspire because it reflects a truth that never fades. Real strength comes from being yourself. The world admired her as Wonder Woman, but her private photos show a more profound kind of bravery. The bravery of a woman who learned to heal, to grow, and to live life with an honest heart. These images reveal a journey that is not just about Hollywood or fame, but about becoming whole. They remind us that behind every glamorous moment is a human story filled with emotions, choices, and quiet battles. And through all these private glimpses, Lynda Carter stands out not for her costume or her fame, but for her humanity. As people today rediscover Lynda Carter through social media, documentaries, and newly shared private photos, a new generation is beginning to understand why she became such a timeless figure. Her influence extends far beyond the years she spent on television, because her story represents something deeper, something human, emotional, and universal. Many of the private images circulating now show a woman who aged gracefully, both in appearance and in spirit. Her later photographs reveal a kind of inner glow that comes not from fame or beauty, but from wisdom gained through experience. These pictures show her attending events with a quiet confidence, standing at charity galas with purpose in her eyes, and speaking to audiences with the calm authority of someone who has lived fully. She no longer carries the pressure of being constantly perfect. Instead, she carries the strength of someone who truly knows herself. These images are powerful reminders that beauty changes with time, but inner grace only grows stronger. In many of her candid photos from recent years, Lynda can be seen enjoying life in simple and peaceful ways. She spends afternoons surrounded by close friends, laughing freely without worrying about camera angles or public expectations. She takes walks in nature with a look of serenity on her face, her posture relaxed and her smile gentle. These images reveal how deeply she has learned to appreciate the small joys of life. The sound of wind passing through trees, the warmth of sunlight on her skin, the comfort of home. People often forget that celebrities long for these peaceful moments just as much as anyone else, and Lynda's photographs bring this truth forward with striking clarity. She found happiness not in the spotlight, but in the quiet spaces she created for herself. Some of the most meaningful private photographs from her later life show her honoring her long journey, celebrating her past roles, reconnecting with old friends from the entertainment world, and sharing stories with younger artists who look up to her. She often speaks with warmth about her early days, but she also reflects honestly on the challenges she faced. These moments, captured by photographers she trusted, show her wearing expressions of gratitude and sincerity. They remind viewers that she is a woman who has accepted all parts of her story, the victories, the struggles, and the lessons that shaped her. These photos feel almost like conversations, as if she is quietly telling viewers that it is okay to be imperfect, okay to grow, and okay to change. Another powerful theme in her later photographs is her advocacy work. Lynda used her voice to support strong causes, from women's rights to addiction recovery resources to music education. She poured her heart into these efforts because she believed that making a positive difference was more important than achieving more fame. Many of her private photos show her comforting individuals during support events, hugging survivors, or standing at podiums speaking with calm conviction. These images reveal a woman who no longer cared about living up to a fictional hero. She chose instead to be a real one. Her compassion, maturity, and willingness to help others became the most beautiful parts of her legacy. As times changed and generations shifted, Lynda Carter's story continued to inspire because it reflects a truth that never fades. Real strength comes from being yourself. The world admired her as Wonder Woman, but her private photos show a more profound kind of bravery. The bravery of a woman who learned to heal, to grow, and to live life with an honest heart. These images reveal a journey that is not just about Hollywood or fame, but about becoming whole. They remind us that behind every glamorous moment is a human story filled with emotions, choices, and quiet battles. And through all these private glimpses, Lynda Carter stands out not for her costume or her fame, but for her humanity. In addition to her personal growth and quiet triumphs, Lynda Carter's private photos reveal the nuanced ways she navigated Hollywood's complex and often harsh environment. Behind the glamour and applause, there were moments of uncertainty, disappointment, and tension that most fans never knew about. Some of the photographs show her walking through studio lots with contemplative expression, sitting alone in waiting rooms before auditions, or reviewing scripts late into the night. These images reveal the dedication and perseverance required to maintain a successful career while protecting her sense of self. They are a testament to the discipline she maintained, the courage it took to say no to compromising offers, and the resilience needed to endure moments of public scrutiny or personal setback. Each image tells a story not of perfection, but the relentless effort it takes to remain authentic while working in an industry obsessed with image. During her career, Lynda also became increasingly aware of the pressures placed specifically on women in Hollywood, and her private photos subtly reflect her quiet resistance to these forces. For instance, candid images of her on set show her standing confidently during discussions with producers or directors, often with a calm yet assertive demeanor. In these moments, she projects the strength of someone who understands that compliance is not always a path to dignity. Other private photos show her interacting with younger actresses, mentoring and guiding them in ways that went unseen by the public eye. These images underscore her role as a protector and advocate within the entertainment world. She was not just preserving her own autonomy. She was also paving the way for women who would follow in her footsteps, showing them that it is possible to be both successful and self-respecting. Her private life also included moments of deep personal reflection that were never intended for public consumption. Many photographs capture her journaling in quiet corners, sitting on benches in parks as the light shifted around her, or simply gazing thoughtfully at the horizon during solitary moments. These photos reveal a woman who used introspection as a tool for personal growth, a way to process the pressures of fame and the emotional challenges that accompanied it. They also illustrate the importance of mindfulness and self-awareness in her life, qualities that allowed her to navigate the highs and lows of Hollywood with grace. While the world often saw only her smile or her iconic red and blue costume, these images show the layers beneath, revealing a person constantly evolving, learning, and striving to maintain balance in a chaotic world. Music and art continue to play a significant role in her private life, as revealed by numerous photographs. Some show her strumming a guitar in the quiet of her home, others capturing her mid-song with her eyes closed and an expression of pure emotion on her face. She also returned to painting, with photos documenting canvases covered in vibrant colors, her hands covered in paint, and a look of serene concentration. These creative pursuits were not merely hobbies. They were lifelines, offering her emotional release and a sense of identity beyond the public persona of Wonder Woman. The photographs remind viewers that even icons need outlets for self-expression, and that creativity often provides a space to process life's challenges in meaningful ways. Finally, the private images from her later years celebrate her ability to find joy in everyday moments. From quiet tea times with close friends to laughter-filled afternoons with family, these photographs depict a woman who finally embraced the simplicity and beauty of life outside the glare of the spotlight. They show her smiling in genuine delight, engaging in small acts of kindness, and enjoying the peaceful rhythms of a life she shaped for herself. These moments, captured with tenderness and respect, reveal that Lynda Carter's legacy is not only about her achievements in Hollywood, but also about her humanity, her strength, and her capacity for love and empathy.